Connecting the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB.
Macon and WDDO 980 AM,
Perry.
Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Mother Georgia, she's back on live, the historic 980 WDDO. All of a sudden, let's go live into the studio with our host, Brenda Sutton.
And hello.
Uh-oh.
We're obviously televising from the mountains.
We must. Oh, I think what it was is you'd already made a crack about my phone, and that I didn't know how to do technology and stuff, and it stands to reason that I really didn't know how to do technology.
What I'd just like to say on the subject of phones, people who made so much fun of me for so long about my flip phone that I didn't want to let go. I see the great minds of Samsung have now decided that the best way to go is a flip phone. What do you get? What are the benefits from having a flip phone instead of the ones we've been carrying for the last few years? That you fold it up and you don't have to worry about all those cracked screens, because all of the telephone, all of the cell phone companies have been making a killing off replacing screens.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me ask you something.
And you know the other benefit to it, and this is a real benefit, those phones don't have the antennas in them like these do, so you can't be tracked as much with a flip phone that you can with these newer phones.
And I do remember that with the flip phone, there was not a whole bunch of dropped calls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but I also know that you couldn't text hardly on the flip phone.
Well, I mean,
Some of us are more challenged than others.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Brenda was born in the 1800s.
Right.
See, there y'all go.
She was born in master bedroom.
And she had someone to text for her.
Yes.
See, I don't know what to say about the folks that I sit up with. I love them, though. I love them with their Emily. I just have a real question for you.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Wait a minute. As opposed to a fake question.
Right.
Yeah. Emily, I have a real question for you.
It's still Halloween at Brenda's house. I
saw something pink going on your page. What's up with the pink stuff?
Pink Friday.
Yeah. So she thought I was going to say, I said,
we don't never know.
If that was an accident that you did something right, believe me.
But she's, I just for, our listeners out there, I've started decorating for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I got my 2 trees up and going to have 3 rooms decorated. And so I'm really working on I may do a 3rd tree, but I know I'm doing 2 trees. And then I felt kind of bad about doing all that stuff until I saw Emily prepared for Christmas. I was like, darling. Hey, Sheila.
Hey, Sheila.
I said, darling, look, Emily's got her stuff on sale, and that's some of my favorite stuff. I was going to say, we really need to talk about some of my favorite products that we have.
These are a few of our favorite things.
Oh, yeah. Emily has a scent called Joy. Are you making Joy this year?
I am. I'm making Joy. Of course, your favorite, Henry's favorite, Island Hibiscus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're making lots of Joy. I actually have a new one coming out.
Did you say Island of Biscuits?
Island Hibiscus. Y'all are such haters. I said Island Hibiscus. We know who's greedy around here.
I mean, I haven't eaten today.
Wait, with syrup?
Yeah.
With an island of syrup?
With cane patch syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
just as a disclaimer, that's Brenda making those noises.
Right.
Okay.
No, that you just want some salmon with your biscuits. Come on now, and syrup.
Yeah, with little onions cut up in them.
Yeah, little onions. But
no, we do not.
So
salmon with onions.
I'm gonna be quiet this time so that the people can really understand the name of Emily's product.
You know what, Emily? I love that I love the Joy. I got Joy as a gift, actually.
No, it's the other one. We understood Joy.
The
Island
island
hibiscus,
hibiscus.
and what else?
Hibiscus is a flower, for
And
those of you that do not know.
eh,
So we have our usuals. We have all of our stock fragrances that will be fully in stock, and every year I come out with a new one, a new holiday fragrance that we carry from Pink Friday, which is the Friday after Thanksgiving, and we carry it all the way through the winter season. So I'm excited about that one that I'll release closer to Pink Friday. So that one will be a surprise, but it smells absolutely phenomenal.
let me just say about Emily's products, because Johnny, and you should use them on your hair actually, because you got like a nice grade of hair. It's better than grease and stuff like that. Seriously, any sort of hair product. But Henry uses it on his hair.
Okay, well, I use berries and juices.
Well, that's what my product consists of. Organic.
And
That was
oil.
that was just a line from
And
Coming
some,
to America. I'm sorry.
and some oil. But I would have to say, if you're a person like me who struggle with dry, cracked ankles, not and heels,
Lord
and I
have
do.
mercy.
And look here, I just got to be real at 100. See,
Well,
Emily,
that's what my product is for.
that's what I'm trying to say. If you have problems with dry skin, if you have that, you really want to try Emily's products at Naturalista, and it's down in Warner Robins.
It's at 6009 Watson Boulevard, Suite 410. It's actually in the Publix Shopping Plaza in Warner Robins. We will be open that morning at 9 o'clock. We have some wonderful products, lots of gifting options. We have everything that you can think of for your bath and body care needs, from hair oils, shampoo bars, because we're all about saving the environment. We try to use as less plastic. So I think I only have 2 products that we actually package, which is our body butter, which is what Brenda, her favorite product, and our scrubs. But everything else we do what's called naked packaging. So yeah, if you really care about the environment, if you care about that kind of stuff, come check us out. And that is going to be Friday, November 25th. That is the Friday after Thanksgiving. Affectionately, we call it Pink Friday, but you all know it as Black Friday. So make sure you come out and check us out. 6009 Watson Boulevard, Suite 410. And yeah, homemade natural organic soaps. I know a lot of y'all out there be itching and scratching because you got eczema. And come see us, because we got products for that actually work. We have yoni soaps for the females that actually work. We have all natural deodorant. Brenda can attest to the deodorant that it actually works.
And
It
let me just
actually
hello,
works.
Susan, how are you? And the thing about it is, especially if you have sensitive underarms, and it only takes a little bit. Takes a little bit, and you just take like a little dab and use that. And it certainly does work, and keep the odor down and such. And Emily, we've had much success with that. I would be interested, just a question, for those of us who have little girls and things like that. If you have children, younger people, is this something that would work on them as well?
Yes, it actually is a great product, and I'm gonna tell you why. It will, if your child is between the ages of 5 and say 6 or 7, when they're just starting to kind of get musty, and they run around playing, and it's like, whoa, child, you starting to need deodorant. They be about 5 or 6 when they start just smelling like that. And this is a perfect product to have them use, because it will not their bodies won't get adjusted to the aluminum based deodorant. And for those of you all that don't know, that use aluminum based deodorant, I'm sure you use it, Johnny. Aluminum, I'm sure you do. If you use deodorant, it's aluminum based. That's how deodorant works, or antiperspirants work. That's what keeps you from sweating, is the aluminum. The aluminum in it is what actually causes the breast cancer in women. And so they've done numerous studies, they've done numerous medical journals on this. And if you go to any cancer doctor or your primary care doctor, the first thing they will tell you to do, especially as women, they'll say stop using antiperspirants. And so our deodorant does not contain any aluminum or any type of metal in our deodorant whatsoever. And it actually works, because I tell people, what you want to do is sweat. You just don't want to smell bad when you're sweating. So our product keeps you from smelling bad, which is essentially the issue.
So I've been around a lot of women lately who went to the doctor and told them to stop using the
Aluminum-based deodorant or
Stop him.
antiperspirants.
Stop him. You know what? He coming up with jokes right now. So
Yeah,
you
this
cannot
is
fool with Johnny. You cannot fool with him.
So listen.
You
So what
cannot
about
fool.
what about the Tussie that women were so famous? Did that have aluminum in it?
no, Tussie actually does.
Tussie and that old time Eric cream didn't. See, and you can't buy those anymore.
Right.
You
And
cannot-
a lot of people, when they use my deodorant, they say it reminds them of Tussie. It doesn't smell like Tussie, but the texture is just like Tussie. And that's another reason why they took Tussie. You can buy it. It's extremely hard to find.
And it's expensive when you buy it.
Tussie and Eudora is what you're talking about. Eudora, because when I met Raymond, my husband, he used Eudora. And so a lot of people say, oh, this reminds me of Tussie, or this reminds me of Eudora. So it's in the same family as them. It doesn't use any metal, chemical, or any type of aluminum in them. And that's why and a lot of older people still use it to this day, because that product works.
It worked, and it was healthy for you. I tell you, I want to do a big shout out to my husband, Henry Williams.
The great Henry. Hey, Henry, we are still in first place, brother.
What first place? What?
Atlanta Falcons are still in first place.
What first place?
Never mind.
You know what? Henry went off on me this past weekend. Emily, you just be all up into just Henry. I'm like,
y'all gotta leave. You need to leave my Henry was
I agree.
minding his business,
He
watching
was.
that football
Yes, he
game.
was.
And here come Brenda on that live, messing with that man. That man said, leave me alone. Why don't you go spend some of my money? That's what you like to do anyway. And, you and Linda need to go on to the store, spend his money. Let that man alone. Let him watch his football and quit harassing him.
Please.
It tickled me so bad I had tears in my eye. Henry just like, please, somebody come get her.
Yeah, we'll be sending out petitions on Tuesday.
Y'all ain't sending out no petitions. What petitions on Tuesday?
Leave Henry alone.
Right. We need to put it on the ballot box.
Yeah. On the ballot box.
Yeah. Right in.
Right in. You know what? I tell you, you know what? That I love Henry.
I would hope so.
But Henry ain't right. He need to understand, who is the priority. The priority in the house is Brenda. Brenda Williams. That's the priority in the house.
So to touch on last week, a week before last topic. So you are not submissive.
I'm submissive.
I want to dance with somebody. No, you ain't. You ain't.
I am. Johnny was not here when we were talking about that. I am doing that.
Henry, I just love you so much, Henry. You know what? I need to go down to the store. I need to go to the mall. Can I have your card? Then she's submissive.
Well, Henry he was into his football game. And listen, Henry was minding his own, but he was sitting there peaceful. The view of the lake was behind him, just watching his game. And here come Henry. It's almost like a kid. When you watch, the parent has finally got some woosah time. They sitting back, they may be drinking a little drink or wine, whatever. And the kid come, mommy.
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
And you say, what?
Yep.
Hi. Kid just say hi. They don't want nothing. That's Brenda. Brenda's the little kid. Now Henry.
Yeah.
Henry.
Yeah.
And so finally Henry say, what, Brenda? What you in here doing? What it look like I'm doing? What?
Y'all are so wrong for that.
No, actually, we're very truthful here.
Y'all ain't truthful. See, y'all and Henry be wrong for coming at me like that. He better not call him.
Wait a minute, how is he coming at you when he's in his own space, minding his own business?
I was being submissive.
Bless her heart.
I was being submissive. I be listening to my husband. I was being. He told me. He said, "Why don't you go?" He ain't say it like that, y'all, because he put some of them other words in there too.
Yeah, y'all have to go on her page. And
you have
just
to go on
watch
my Facebook page. And he said, "Why don't you go to the store and spend some of my money?" That's what I work. No, he didn't say it like that, did he?
But here's the deal, Emily. I do know that we're going to be talking about voting in tomorrow's election. And I do know that one of the major concerns of voters around the country is what Brenda's illustrating today, a need for, and we need to get people in who are going to put their energies into the concern of mental illness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
And
then,
Brenda's certainly given us.
look
Right.
here. Well,
This is a prime example of why mental illness is important.
look,
Yes.
well, then, they best to go on now and make sure they vote. Because I'm going to tell you something. If Dave don't vote, then they going to have that Herschel up there. And that boy got about 12 personalities. That's the truth. He got about 12.
Mm-mm.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, you know Herschel got about 12. We keep talking about Herschel's illness, but folk need to understand that boy ain't right. He done been
But
hitting
the
head
real
to-
pandemic is mental illness.
Yeah.
And Brenda could
absolutely.
be the poster child.
She could.
Yeah, you know what though? I'm telling you, did anybody hear that sermon with Jamal Bryant?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that?
If
Yeah.
you're on social media, you heard it.
You
Yeah.
heard it. And he was talking about that slave mentality.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And some of us got it now.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we'll do anything. We just follow anybody. All they got to do is throw up the right words, and then we just run. We just run behind them. And I had my, I don't want to call it out like that, but she was just saying to me, she said, Brenda, Herschel need redemption. She told me, said, you may want to consider voting him because, all of us have done wrong and fell short, Now I'm serious about this.
Well, you know what? That can very well be a topic later we use down the line, because that is more than, see, it is also, and many people are guilty of, because somebody's their cousin, because somebody's their friend, because somebody's their sister or mother or father even, they will agree and go along with whatever that person's doing simply because of the relationship. And a lot of what Herschel is doing, I feel, is because of the relationship.
You know what? Our guest is trying to get on, and let me. Can I get you just to take this conversation on just a few minutes? Let me get our guest, logged in for a minute.
Oh yeah. So we want to make sure that we talk about that subject matter. Sometimes you can know something is wrong, but because it's your friend, you'll agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's posted something on Facebook and they attack your friend, you'll come on and start talking about, y'all, she can say what she wants, or he can say what he wants to say, instead of addressing the issue why people are attacking that statement. So that's a big problem, I think, in the world, that we can know something is not right, but because, like, if Jim said it, who we don't know, we'd be going, Jim, that's not right. But if Joe says it, who's our friend, we'll go along with it. And I'm sure you all understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm trying to get her logged in.
She says she's having issues. She
says she's
can
having
I call
issues.
in or join in another way?
I want to get her joined in on through the video because it's just so much better. So,
Cheryl Palmer says, but his redemption does not have to be at the expense of the state and indeed the nation. I would agree with that.
Absolutely, Cheryl Palmer.
And you know what? And that's the issue. People want redemption. You can't have selective redemption.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't.
You cannot.
No, you
Now
can't.
I just sent our guest a new link. Tell her to try that last link I just sent her. The very last link, if you can do that. The very last one I just sent. And let's see if we can get her on,
Okay.
Yeah. And so let's try that because, first of all, I want her to come on and talk about the provisional ballots because there's going to be people who try to vote, Emily, and they're not going to be able to vote.
Mm-hmm.
This is an important election.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm certainly in the pool of people who think this is more than just an issue vote. This is about democracy. And we are certainly, as we live in this republic of the United States, we do not want to lose democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still at disbelief at the number of people who sort of pretend that January 6th was okay, or there is nothing anybody can say to justify the actions of January 6th. But people do.
And what was their main objective in doing what they were
What they did.
attempting to do?
They
What was the
tore-
main objective, do you guys think?
The objective was to tear up the Capitol. Now there are some that'll say, "Well, you know what? It's equivalent. Black folk march all the time."
But no, it was in their minds
Right.
that they were going to reveal in their minds what the true count of the vote was, because they kept saying that the voting results were skewed, and they were going to reveal those people who had skewed the votes. That's why they were headed for Nancy Pelosi's office and those kinds of things. And of course, we're praying for the Pelosi family with the tragedy that they just recently suffered. And we hope and pray that there's a complete healing there. But I think
somebody tell me what. I don't have TV at home or cable.
Okay, well,
now, I know something happened to the husband. Is that correct?
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
He was attacked.
Yeah, with a hammer.
Okay.
He in the bed.
That's
He's
what I thought.
81 years old, and people
82.
are actually, and they're actually laughing about it.
Are you serious?
What? Oh yeah.
They think it's funny that he got attacked in his own bed with a hammer?
Yes.
They're thinking that because of their politics, they caused themselves to be attacked.
And they also claimed that he was gay and that they were gay lovers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So a bunch of
Absolutely,
nonsense.
Lynn.
Absolutely. And see, that's the issue. And so people that are out there.
Okay, so
listening,
look, she's on the phone, Lily.
Hey, Lily, come on, bring her on in.
I'm here. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. Just happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. So tell me something. So we had a little brief discussion. We want to talk a little bit about those provisional ballots.
Yeah. So let's just try to explain what a provisional ballot is and why you would even use it, right?
Okay.
So if you go to the polls and you might not have the correct form of ID, or maybe you're not showing up on their roll for that polling place, the person at that polling place can give you something called a provisional ballot. So it's a paper ballot. And you would need to do something. They call it curing, but all you need to do is make sure that it's counted. So if it is an ID issue, you'll have to take the correct form of ID up to the Board of Elections after Election Day. So you actually have until Monday to do this, because Friday is a federal holiday. So we got an additional day. You have those days until next Monday to go up to your Board of Elections, your local Board of Elections. You can find it by Googling, or I'll give you a website later on in this call.
Okay.
You'll go there and you'll take the correct form of ID. Now, there are some other reasons you would fill out a provisional ballot. Like if you're not showing up on the rolls, you don't have to go back for that. Your Board of Elections will make sure that they get you counted in the right place, or it won't count. But that'll be up to them. The thing you can fix is the ID.
Okay. And so that's awesome. Tell me something. Now, I got my mama an absentee ballot, which I have not taken back up there yet. So if you have an absentee ballot, help me understand what we need to do to make sure that those ballots are counted if you didn't get it in last.
That is an amazing question. So the number one thing I want to say is, do not, the day before the election, do not put that ballot in the mailbox. You will need to, you can do two things. You can either take it to your Board of Elections, your county Board of Elections. So, sometimes it'll be in the city you're in, but it's a county Board of Elections. So it might be far from you depending on what county you're in. You'll take that completed ballot to the Board of Elections, and they can have it counted there. Or you can take it to your polling place. So when you're going to vote on Election Day, take that with you. The people there can cancel it for you, and you'll need to vote in person. Like, you'll have to go and cast your ballot on Election Day, brand new, not use the absentee. So don't put it in the mail. You can either take it to your Board of Elections or take it with you to go vote tomorrow.
Okay. So what are the numbers looking like?
The numbers are actually looking really good, especially in South Georgia and in rural communities. We're seeing record numbers show up for early voting. Now, we're still waiting to see, of course, what the turnout is going to be tomorrow. But the way that history is shown, especially in Georgia, when we have numbers like we're seeing now happening in Georgia, especially outside of those 10 metro Atlanta counties, that we should be in for a pretty busy election day. So with that being said, polls open, I think it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They might be extended based on if you're waiting in line, but get there early and try to get that out the way, because the turnout, there are a lot of opinions, and this is a strongly contested election. So a lot of people are showing out and showing up. So make sure that you get there early and handle that.
Well, I want to go back to the provisional ballots, because I can recall my nephew went to vote when he was down in Hayhara, Georgia, down in that area, and the actual election office misspelled his name. And so they did not allow him to vote because his name is not that he submitted it wrong. It was a typo on their part. So help me understand and make sure that if your name is misspelled on their records, then how do you correct that?
So when you go and you cast your provisional ballot, for whatever different reason, if it is a typo, a name issue is not matching up, they can let you know what it is you need to do to follow up, specifically for your issue. The second thing that'll happen, before I get into the details of what I think you should do for that particular issue, the second thing that'll happen is the Board of Elections will give you a call and let you know what you need to do to cure your ballot or to make sure that it's counted. If it's a typo, you might have to bring in, for example, your birth certificate or something. I'm not quite sure, but there are a list of things that you could bring in to rectify that situation. So those are the two things that'll happen. They are not going to chase you down to count your vote, y'all. Like, they're not going to do it. They're going to call you one time, depending on how small the county is. They might call you a second time if they know you. But it is up to you to follow through. If you fill out a provisional ballot, you should call your local Board of Elections and say, hey, I filled out a provisional ballot. What do I need to do to make sure my vote is counted?
And again, they have until Monday to do that. So what you're saying, they've cast provisional ballot. They need to get on the telephone and follow up themselves. Don't necessarily wait for these people to call you, because they may not call you. You need to make sure you do it.
And they might have an old number for you. We don't update our phone numbers as often as we think we do.
Okay. Now, we have a question out there. Let's talk about voting in your own precinct. Let's say the precinct is different, or you go there, or something has changed.
Yeah. So here's what I suggest everyone does. So there's two websites. The first one is our website. I work for Fair Count. I'm not even sure I said my name. I just got on here and started talking with y'all.
I was. Hey, Lily, I was going to also at some point, because you and Brenda were on a roll, but I was going to get you to identify yourself and who you're representing and what your function is. But y'all will get into it.
Let me. I was just so excited. I think we were all so excited to get this information out there.
No, we're excited to have it.
My name is Lily Jackson. I am the partnership coordinator for Fair Count. We're a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that's anchored in Georgia, but we're active throughout the country. So especially during this voting time, we are completely focused on Georgia. We have community organizers and faith organizers spread throughout rural Georgia. We focus on Georgia got 159 counties. We focus on 149 of them. Everything except for Metro Atlanta gets our attention. And so I am literally right now, even though Macon, Georgia is home to me, I'm in Macon County right now. I'm in Montezuma, and we're just out here hosting events. In Macon, we did one at the Tubman, just making sure to get people out, to get information out there so that people can make a plan to vote, especially when early voting was still a thing. We wanted people to really go and early vote to make sure that, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So we wanted to make sure that people went out there. So that's who I am. That's why I'm here. So sorry for the people listening that you just got this random stranger coming in and preaching at y'all what y'all need to do. But this is who I am. And I can't remember the question before that, but I know it was a good one that I wanted to get back to.
It was about having to vote at your own precinct.
Right.
Yes. So there are two websites. The first one is our website with Fair Count. It is vote, so VOTE dash 365, like 365 days a year. So vote-365.org. And at this website, you can do everything you need. So you can, there's a link to the Secretary of State's website that I will list out in a second. So that's where you can go to check on your polling place location, the times that it's open, if it is moved. They move these polling places around sometimes, y'all. So you want to make sure it might not be the same place that you've been going to the last 10 years. So you want to verify that. So on top of the link that takes you there to your official Secretary of State voting information, you can also, we have this really cool feature where you can build your ballot out. You can see your ballot. There are links to every candidate's website. You can do some research on your own. Like I said, we're nonpartisan, so we're not going for any one or the other. We just want to make sure that everyone goes and votes. And if everyone who is eligible to vote votes, then it'll be a fair and accurate election. So you can go to vote-365.org. You'll want to check the location to vote tomorrow. Most polling places are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. And you can see your ballot. You can see the candidates, and you can see the issues that you'll vote on as well, and you can print it off. In Georgia, you can't take out your phone at the voting kiosk, but you can have a piece of paper. So if you need some guidance, these names can get a little wonky sometimes. Like, print out your ballot, take that with you so that you're voting exactly for who you want to vote for. So I'll say it one more time. It is vote-365.org or the official My Voter page with the Secretary of State. This one can be a little confusing, so I'm going to say it slowly, but this is the official website. MVP, like My Voter page, so mvp.sos.ga.gov.
Oh, wow.
And again, you can get to that from the vote365.org webpage.
Now, I think that what was something critical that you just said was that you could take a piece of paper in with you.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. So if you were listening,
not take your phone out.
Because no one ever told me when I went to vote that I could do that. And I wonder why.
Yep.
Well, that's so that, and I'm like you, and I call myself literate and did not know that. So if you want to, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying they keep the things that can keep us extremely active and aware and knowledgeable. They don't want to really promote that. It's tough to remember who's who, what name for what position, especially when our education system as a whole has failed to teach us civics.
That's right.
So when we're talking about agriculture commissioner, we have an amazing piece of literature that we've been passing around to communities that explains the different positions, what they do, and how it impacts us.
I didn't know that.
Especially when we're talking rural communities, we should really care about the agriculture commissioner.
Oh, absolutely.
We should really care about labor commissioner, you know?
Mm-hmm. But if you don't understand how these things work, then we may not make an informed decision, which is why I wanted to make sure that there was some type of central place, and it sounds like it's Fair Count, that you could go to and get information about these particular offices so that you can make a more informed decision and hopefully may even want to vote, because we got people out there that still don't understand why they should vote.
Listen, the website that I gave you, aside from me working for Fair Count, and I've always, just like you were saying, I consider myself a very, civically literate person. I was always engaged. I voted all the time. But knowing, let's be real. We need to hold people accountable. We need someone to blame when things aren't going the way that they should, the way that they were promised. We can't just blame our mayor. We can't just blame our governor or the president for potholes in the road or for our grocery prices or for whatever it is that's affecting you wherever you are.
Right.
You have to know who it is that you can hold accountable, or else they will send you on a wild goose chase. Oh, no, that's not me. You need to talk to this person. Oh, no, that's not my job. You need to talk to this person. They are counting on us not to be educated on what their job is. We need to know what their job is more than they even know what their job is.
That's right.
So that website, that vote-365.org, when there's a button where you can see and build out your ballot. It is an amazing tool. It explains every position, what their role is. It lists off every candidate. Like I said, we're nonpartisan, so it lists every single candidate. And then those ballot measures, those issues that we're also voting on, it explains those in plain English. So when you walk into the polling place and you don't even know what the things are at the end after you voted for the people, you haven't been talked to about that at all. But this vote365.org website really breaks it down, and it's like, okay, what this is really saying is blah 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 blah.
Oh, wow.
Do you want this or not? And this is, if you don't want this, you vote nay. If you do, this way. And so you print that out, and now you know exactly what it is that you're doing, and you have the power yourself. You're not just making sure that you vote and it's counted. You are voting with purpose. You are voting with knowledge behind it, specifically for why you need to vote.
Okay, well, I have one of our listeners has a question. Lynn Snyder said, could you ask her about having to vote in your own precinct?
Yes. So you do. It is preferred. You do need to vote in your own precinct. If you vote outside of your precinct, that's when you're going to either get turned away or you can fill out a provisional ballot. It really depends what county you're in, and how far away, if you only have one precinct, if there's only two. So go in, you can push for a provisional ballot. You just have to get that, like we said, cured. But if you go to the website that I gave you and you look up your exact precinct, just avoid all of that hoopla. And I can't emphasize it enough to check on what precinct you're supposed to go to and go there to avoid any mess.
Now, we have, our listeners are like all over. It is just not making big. We're in Daugherty County. We're in Washington County, Hancock County. Where are some
We're where she is.
Well, because some of our it is a huge range. So, in some of these smaller places, it may be a challenge even to go into it. There may be some people that may be trying to keep you from going in, is there a phone number or something that you may have available for people who may feel like they are being intimidated not to vote?
Yes. Let me make sure I have the correct number. It's a voter protection hotline for the entire state.
Okay.
There's also a federal one, but I want to make sure I get the correct phone number for this. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go. Oh, well, hold on. I got to stay nonpartisan. Hold on now.
I understand. But eyes
there is a number.
don't have to stay nonpartisan.
Okay, well, listen. So if you look up Voter Protection Hotline Georgia, there are multiple places that you can call, and I wish we have an event happening right now, so I could pull in the right person to give me this phone number, but she is speaking.
That's okay.
I'll keep looking this up. I just want to make sure I give you one that's nonpartisan, so I don't get in trouble.
We can put it in the comment section.
Hey, Lily,
a little bit later.
do we have to do us a favor to engineers listening and give us that link again that you were speaking of that gave all that information about the positions of each official?
It is vote, so VOTE dash. I think that's a dash, or is that no? It's not a hyphen. Is that a hyphen? It's a hyphen. I'm sorry, it's not a dash. It's a hyphen. Vote. I'm calling them dashes. Dash is hyphen 365.org.
I appreciate that. I think he's listening in with us now, and we'd like for him to put it on the page. That was mind blowing for me. I did not know. I wondered if something like that existed, because I do know, even me, I don't know what everybody does. What their job descriptions are and how it affects the decision making that is finalized. Because what you said makes perfect sense. The agriculture person, if something concerns him, he's going to have a greater interest in what the governor's decision is going to be if it affects
exactly.
And for whatever other office that's being held, and how their connectivity is so important on how the machine works, and the more we understand about it.
And this confusion is a part of the voter suppression. I just want to be very clear.
Okay.
Keeping us confused, not understanding what's going on, giving us the runaround, trying to figure things out. This is a part of voter suppression.
It is.
Because you won't want to continue doing it. It's not worth your time.
It makes people say it won't matter.
Provisional ballot. So this is a part of it. You got to push through. You have to fight against this. Don't let them, count you out.
Well, thank you. Lynn Snyder has put in She has put in our comment line. Somebody read that number out, because my eyes.
The voter protection hotline is 1-888-730-5816. Again, that number for the voter protection hotline is 1-888-730-5816. Thank you, Lynn.
We're I'm excited to have you on. It sounds like you're just doing a tremendous work. I'm sitting up here with an O in my mouth about the paper thing that you can print out.
Yeah.
I was just like, all these years I've voted, and then I was always get to the sections where they had the amendments and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even understand. I don't understand what this means. And then I may do the Christmas tree. What I'm saying? Just vote.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, because I didn't really understand what those amendments meant. So either I just check off or whatever, or either I'll just leave them blank.
And you know what? And you felt, well, I would think more than me, felt like, well, you need to make a vote. So you wouldn't just leave it blank. So you said, well, okay, I'm in here. This is my only chance to vote. I got to make a decision. And then I would make this uninformed decision and take a vote when I really wasn't versed on what the function of that particular a voting choice.
Now,
So
and now,
we're
and
gonna have to have you on
and I would
beyond
tell you
this.
another one. I tell you another one. Office is really important. The insurance commissioner. But
Say that.
now I'm gonna tell you something. That insurance commissioner is something real serious right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Because
Incredibly.
if you have like say like a death benefit or something like that or some other let's say that you had a death benefit, and I just kind of noticed just from some of the stuff I've done in research,
Hmm.
and let's say that the company went out of business that used to fund your insurance.
Hmm.
It's that insurance commissioner's office that becomes a caretaker for that particular insurance policy.
Hmm.
So you better know who's over these offices so you can understand that you need to have somebody take care of you.
Hmm.
It's tremendous.
For sure. 100%.
Let me ask this
There
too.
are.
No,
Mhm.
go ahead. Mhm.
No, I was just going to start rattling off some other things, but go ahead with your question.
No, go ahead.
No,
Okay.
I'll go ahead. What I wanted to know
Okay, great.
was, you mentioned earlier, it sounded like that Georgia you said Georgia doesn't allow you to go in with the phone, right?
Right.
But it
Correct.
sounded like there were other places that did. Did I?
Yeah, that's true. So other states, they're they may not have a law against you pulling your phone out at the ballot box, but Georgia does.
Wow.
Now you can't
Again,
take your phone in there. You can't take pictures of your phone. They want you to turn your phones off. Now I was up
yeah,
there on
don't pull.
Friday.
Yeah,
I was up there on Friday and didn't cast my ballot, and I'm like,
But she's saying that, but it's not a across the board rule in the United States,
no, it's not. It's
and
just a
I
rule
didn't know
here.
that.
It's a rule in Georgia.
yep.
Yeah, they don't want you to do it.
And but I'm wondering why it's okay in other states and not okay in Georgia.
Because
That's what my purpose of the question is.
it's a difference between who your Secretary of State is and what they want to do.
So then there again, it matters who we vote for
Right.
to decide the
Exactly.
different functions. That's another reason
Yeah.
why that link you just gave us is so important.
You just like
Yes.
again, you need to know who do what,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
who does what,
Yes.
and then for people to say, well, my vote doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. It matters a lot at the end of the day when there's something that's going on in your personal life that these officers would regulate, and then you have someone in there who is not looking out for your best interest.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. And so many of these roles, again, holding them accountable for what their actual job is. So Secretary of State, it's their job to protect elections, protect safe elections.
Mm-hmm.
It's also their job, make sure that every polling place has the adequate equipment, that they have, extension cords, that they got everything that they need. It's the Secretary of State. So,
Absolutely.
that's really, we can't just blame the governor, right? People just want to blame the names that they know. But
Well,
even our governor right now used to be the Secretary of State. So
that's right. And let me just say this. And if you think the Attorney General, oh, you better make sure you have someone in there that's looking out for your best interest.
Yep.
Because that is
every position.
every
These
position.
people work for us. They represent us. Every position, I don't care if it's dog catcher. You need to vote. If you vote for dog catcher in your town or in your county, you need to vote for that position. I've heard crazy stories of animal control and dog catchers coming and taking people's dogs off of their property. Even the smallest things that you wouldn't think could even affect you in terms of, stray animals roaming your neighborhood. Whatever it is, there is someone who is responsible and who has to answer to you. They have to answer to you. And regardless if you voted for them, let me say this, regardless if you voted for them or not. Now, regardless if they are of your political party.
That's right.
Or not. They work for you.
And that is, I'm glad you brought that out, because I myself have gone to, some Republicans, and I've been called a Republican, but it don't matter. But I go to them and I hold them accountable. They look at me like, well, what is it that you want me to? I said, you work for me.
Yeah.
And one of them I went to, I
All
said,
those
was Representative Austin Scott. Austin Scott, you work for me. You're not gonna say all that craziness on there and then talk about different folks. You talking about me, and I did confront him like that because he was out of order.
The promises that they make to you on the campaign trail, take note of that. That's what they owe you.
Mm-hmm.
Your vote is worth their work
and their word.
They get that position.
Mm-hmm.
They get that position. This is what you owe me.
You don't get to just say whatever you want to say and be so attached to a particular party that you think you're going to say all kinds of things about a person like me. You're not going to do it. And I will call your office. And let me just say this, because some of them won't even let you in. Once they get into office, it's very difficult. They're not accessible.
Yep. So that's when we organize. So that's the importance of community and community organizers. And so the thing that we really focus on at Fair Count, we've been out in these streets. We started, we were founded 3 years ago, really 4 years ago. 4 years ago, wow. And it was a census organization. So we are constantly out here with these same organizers in these same communities. Our bus tour right now is called the Here to Stay bus tour. We're not going anywhere. Community organizing has to be long term. We can't come in when it's an election cycle and then leave and expect to come back in 4 years later with the same type of momentum. No. This entire time, even right now, we launched our Vote 365 website and all of that exactly a year ago, 365 days before Election Day, because we knew that the energy, the education, the effort it was going to take all of that and some. So now that we have this base, now that we're having record turnout across Georgia, what are we going to do right now? What are we going to do from here? What can we build on to keep this momentum so that we can grow even stronger and even stronger in terms of our turnout and just our overall civic engagement? What about school board? What about redistricting and making sure our communities aren't cut in half and our power cut in half? We have to, but we don't know that this is a process that even happens. Redistricting, I had no idea. This job has really, really opened my eyes to how this process works. So we have to be on top of our game when it comes to our education and how engaged we are every single year, every election, every town hall. You're going to hear my voice because you work for me. Your boss don't just let you do whatever you want and still pay you.
That's true.
That's one way to put it, right?
Unless you're your own boss, and they are not their own boss.
Unless you're your own boss, and they not their own boss.
No, they're not their own
themselves
boss.
Elected.
I think a lot of it is because the accepted mentality of people is, well, we voted and put them in power. So we got to, since we voted for them, we just got to deal with what they do. And we got to dispel that kind of thinking.
And the part of it is, if you voted Democrat, then you say, well, it's a Republican in office, I can't talk to him. It doesn't matter what you voted, whether you voted Democrat or Republican, you call and hold people accountable. Lily, it's so great that you came on today. We appreciate you so much.
I am so happy to be here. I will come back anytime.
Hey, Lily, I got one more question I wanted to ask you before you leave.
Yeah.
Since you are out there actively involved, have you seen any discouraging actions from any people that's trying to discourage people from getting to vote and that sort of thing? And let me just say thank you for coming on. I'm so glad I met you at Tubman that day. You were doing some great work then, and I'm glad you agreed that day when I asked you to come on the show. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you.
I jumped on the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really so happy to be here and to answer any questions that people have in a real talk way. We don't need, essays and dissertations trying to explain what this is.
What you
No,
talking?
explain it to me in the way that it can be applied.
No, we don't.
We don't need any more of that.
No, we don't, and we sick of
So,
it. I mean, I don't want to
yeah,
hear it.
what you talking about?
You know,
What
all
you
that
talking about? What do
pontificating.
I need to do?
Yeah, just going through and doing those kinds of things, using big words and things like that. I mess them up anyway.
All right, Lily.
But
So I
this
won't.
is a part.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying this is a part of this oppression,
It
confusion,
is.
a lack of information, misinformation. The misinformation
Disinformation.
campaigns, the partners that I've been working with, and they are these brilliant. I am not a data person, okay, but they have done these brilliant research projects and data on the misinformation campaigns, not only of certain political parties, but of outside and foreign sources. And you know who their number one target is? Black men.
People. Black men.
Who are the number one targets, Lily?
Black men.
Black men are their number one target for misinformation.
Oh wow!
They are creating websites solely to target
black men. And we have a hard time getting our black men out to vote because of some of the thinking that they have, and some of our black men out there would rather vote for Kim than to vote for Stacey Abrams. I'm gonna leave that alone right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone too because I can't say nothing about it.
And
However,
I'm gonna, as the only black man on the air, I'm gonna leave it alone because I vote for whomever I want to vote for.
But then too, you do
I
vote
don't
for.
owe you to vote. I vote for whomever I want to vote
But you
for.
know what though, Johnny, we're gonna have to go. But let me just tell you, that's part of the issue. She's talking about the disinformation with black men.
I understand,
It's a lot of black people out there with some crazy attitudes and things like that, going out there voting crazy, and then get mad when the outcome is not the way they want it to come, the way that they believe it should be. And then when things start going south, then they start blaming the system that they helped create. Come on now.
this is a nonpartisan
No, it ain't
group that she represents.
She
I know,
represents
and that's where we were at this time. So, but Lily, I am. So, Lily, I'm glad you came on. And look, I won't be in town this weekend. I'll be in New Orleans. But next Sunday, I'll be back, and I expect to see you in the building. Okay.
All right. Peace out.
that gives me some time to sleep. I'm gonna sleep a whole week after the elections, and then I can come back.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all so much. I'm right back into this event. Y'all be blessed, and we're gonna get the word out and make sure we have amazing turnout. Make sure you go vote, y'all. 7 to 7 tomorrow. It's the last one. Oh, there are ride to the polls. If you need a ride to the polls, go to ridetothepoll.com. The People's Agenda, they're doing ride to the polls and help you find something. And go to vote365.org for your ballot information.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Trying to tell me who to vote for.
Johnny, you know what though? Some of our black men are just really bad because they'll get up in there and they be at the barbershop talking all that foolishness and things like that, and then go and vote crazy and then vote again. They just as bad as some of them other people who vote against their best interest. But
there are different tax brackets for black folk. So what's your best interest for that black person ain't the best interest for this black person.
And that's what I said last Monday.
I understood you perfectly.
Best on their emotions. Like, I vote based on what's going to work best for me. And that may be Democratic at the time and maybe Republican at the time.
They say what they want to say about me. I'm not voting for a person just because they black.
Right. I don't either.
I'm not going to not vote for them just because they're Caucasian.
Whoever
offers the best possible projection for me, that's who I'm going to vote for. So I go do my own research. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying I vote for someone because they're black or because I vote for people who have my interest. Right. I'm just saying that there are some people who are voting because they are voting, say, for a Republican, or they are voting for a Democrat, or they are voting for a man or a woman
You've
And
been
it's
listening to All of a Sudden. Join them every Monday evening from 5:30 to 6:30. All of a Sudden with your host, Brenda Sutton. That's every Monday. We'll see you there.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.